Next is super dense coding. Super dense coding is algorithm developed which helps you to encrypt messages. We have cryptography in computer science. I assume that most of you knows cryptography, where you can actually hide the information and pass it. But in quantum computer, this hiding is very, very interesting and it is unbreakable. You can have the entangled electrons. Like I said, two electrons are used for entanglement. After entangling, one can be given to Bob and one can be given to Alice. When Bob wants to send one information, he modifies one electron, and that modification is reflected in Alice electron. So it is very, very secure, and it is called super dense coding. So to understand this solving equation faster, storing a lot of elements and how that entanglement works, you need to know how a quantum bit works. Okay, let me give you a very short introduction of what a quantum bit is and how it looks like. Okay, like this is an atom, because I'm assuming that most of you do not know physics. That's why I'm showing what is an atom. Okay, this is an atom. This is how Bohr's atomic model says how an atom looks like. An atom has proton inside it. This plus is positive is proton and this negative is electron. Electron revolves around atoms. You might have studied in your school, in your higher secondary or in your high school, you might have studied how an atom works. Or those who never studied, you can imagine an atom like a solar system, how Earth and other planets are revolving around sun. So I'm going to use this atom as one qubit, that is as one piece of a block which I'm going to use to store a number inside it. Okay, so before storing that, I'll show you how a classical bit works. Okay, in a classical computer, when there is a power going inside a chip, I will call it as 1. When the power is not there, I will call it as 0. When there is a power, it is 1 or on state. When the power is not there, I can call it as a 0 or off state. What makes the change in the power going in and getting out, or what makes a change to change the like bit from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0? We have classical gates. One good simple and easy gate we have studied is called NOT gate. There is a classical NOT gate. When 0 goes inside, the output is 1. When 1 goes inside, the output is 0. Similarly, in quantum, as in classical bits, we assume that when the power is off, it is 0. Okay, we can assume that when the power is off, it is 0 in classical gate. The same way, when an electron is in the first orbit, I can assume that my quantum bit is in 0 state. When the electron is in the second or excited orbit, then I should assume that my electron is storing an information 1. So I'm using an atom. This is a simple hydrogen atom. I'm using a hydrogen atom to store the information. So 1 can be represented by having the electron on the ground state. So 0 can be represented by having an electron on the ground state, and 1 can be represented by having the electron on the excited state. And what is the NOT gate doing here? Here, to make the electron move to the excited state, I have to give some energy so that the electron will jump to the excited state. So 0 will become 1 if I give some energy. 0 will become 1 if I give some energy, and 1 will become 0 if I remove some energy from that electron. If I remove some energy from that electron, the electron will come back to the ground state. It is mathematically represented using matrices. So you have to know little bit linear algebra to understand how it really works. But this is a basic math. Okay, every state of a quantum bit is denoted as a vector or a matrix. See, when I have 1 0, which means it is off state, because this off has a 1 in front of it. And when I have a 0, 1, which means I am in an on state, because this on has a 1. To convert this to this matrix, to convert a 0 state matrix to a 1 state matrix, I have to multiply it with a 2 cross 2 matrix, which is a NOT gate. Just check multiplying this. When I take this and multiply, I will get this. This is how we can represent how computation happens inside a quantum computer. Like NOT gate, we have many other gates. We can simulate all possible classical gates in a quantum computer. Okay, one example, good example of a classical gate is XOR gate. You guys might have studied this XOR gate in your digital fundamentals. What is XOR gate? When both the inputs are same, I will get a 0. When both inputs are same, I will get a 0. See, 0, 0 gives 0, 1, 1 gives 0. When any of one input is different from the other, the output will be 1. This is XOR gate. Remember, if I have 0, if the input is 0, 0 or 1, 1, my output will be 0. If the input is 0, 1 or 1, 0, my output will be 1. We have a similar quantum gate called CNOT gate, which looks like this. This control qubit and target qubit are inputs A and B. Okay, when the control qubit is capable of controlling the target qubit, I'll give the condition. Okay, the condition is when the control qubit is 0, don't disturb the target qubit. When the control qubit is 0, don't disturb the target qubit. See, when the control qubit is 0, the target qubit will not be disturbed. You will get the 0 as it is. When the control qubit is 0, in the second line, again the target qubit 1 is not disturbed and the output will be 1. No disturbance. But when the control qubit is 1, the target qubit will be flipped. That is, 0 will become 1, 1 will become 0. The last 2 lines of the table, when the control qubit is 1, the target qubit will get flipped. We will see a hands-on now how it works. It's really interesting. To work on the hands-on, I request you guys to open any browser, and we are going to use free or open source quantum simulator called Qiskit. Qiskit. It is pronounced as Qiskit. It's an open source SDK for working with quantum computers. Open the collab.research.google.com in your browser and click new notebook. Once the new notebook is open, you will have a screen which looks similar to it. You can give any name to that. That is called a Python notebook. IPYNB is the Python notebooks extension. Now it's time to share my browser. So first, I have commented all the code. So I'm uncommenting it. This hash means comment. So this is purely Python code we are working in, but this package was developed by IBM. So now to execute this, I can either press this button or I can do a shift enter. This will install the package for us. At the end of this output window, I'll be able to see whether the installation is done. Yeah, the installation is done. I'm clearing this output. Now there are few packages to import. I'm taking things slowly. The first package we are going to import is Qiskit. We have installed the Qiskit and we are importing it now. From Qiskit, import star or asterisk. I'm enlarging it a bit closer so that you can watch it. This is the first line. And the second line is from qiskit.tools.visualization import plot histogram. And the third line is percentage matplotlib space inline. I promise you that these are all the packages necessary to visualize our quantum circuit. After typing these 3 lines, you can execute it by clicking at this run cell button or a shift and enter. You won't get any output if you execute this one, because this is just importing. To make sure that whether the import is done properly, you can use print and you can type imported, print open bracket, and in between quotes you can have an imported word, and if you execute you can see imported printed, which means you have imported them. Next, if you are ready with all these installation packages, we shall go for building our single qubit circuit. So the first line of code is, I can give any name for this. QC stands for quantum circuit. Since it's a single qubit circuit, I'm giving QC1. I can give any name. I can give quantum circuit. I can give my own name. I can give any name. This is a variable name, and this quantum circuit 1,1 creates a quantum circuit with one quantum register and one classical register, or one qubit and one classical bit. Remember, Q is a capital Q, uppercase Q, and an uppercase C. This is very important. QC1 is equal to quantum circuit with the uppercase Q and uppercase C for circuit. And inside the bracket, I give a 1,1. To visualize this line will create me a quantum circuit with a quantum bit with one qubit and one classical bit. To visualize this, I am calling a function called draw. QC1.draw output is equal to MPL. If I don't use this MPL, if I simply use QC.draw and if I execute, I will see a quantum circuit like this, which is not so good to look at. So we are using an engine called the MPL engine, which will help us to visualize our quantum circuit like this. So I have Q, that is one quantum bit and one classical bit. Whenever I create a quantum bit, the system used to send a 0. The first import helps you to import all the Qiskit packages, which will help us to build this quantum circuit, especially this quantum circuit, capital Q and capital C. Quantum circuit is a package, it is from this package Qiskit. And the next one, Qiskit.tools.visualization, helps you to see the status of your quantum circuit. And this matplotlib inline helps you to print the visualizations. If I want 2 quantum bits, I can give 2 here. If I want 2 quantum bits, I can give a 2 here. And you see Q0 and Q1, 2 lines. But if I give a 2 in classical bits, I will not see 2 lines, but the number 2 will be denoted there. Can you see a 2 here? If I add one more classical bit, I'll see a 3 there. If I have to create a quantum circuit with 3 qubits, I can give 3,3. So this is how we need classical registers to read the numbers. As I said before, quantum particle or a subatomic particle, when I look at it, it gets itself collapsed. So we need a classical bit to extract the information. We cannot simply read the information from the quantum bit. We need classical bit to extract it. That's why I'm adding one classical bit with one quantum bit. And this is how it looks like. Now this quantum bit will send a 0, will always have a 0 inside it. To visualize the 0, we have this function counts. So we are taking this quantum circuit and we are using Quasum simulator as the backend, and we are going to execute it. So we have built a circuit. This is a simple circuit without any gates. This is a single qubit circuit without any gates, and I want to see the value inside it. So I am using a Quasum simulator. Quasum means quantum assembly language. Quasum, QASM. Quantum assembly language simulator is getting used to read the values. So you have to type this line. This execute statement will operate the circuit, will send information to the circuit, it will get executed, and the results will be stored in this function result. Then from that we will get the counts. Counts means the value stored in the qubits. And when I plot that counts, I can see, as I said, quantum bit has a 0 in it. When I execute this line, I will see a 0. Can you see a 0 here? This one means the probability. Always quantum computer works with probability. As I said, we were talking about superposition. When I say where is Alice, I can say Alice is staying in hostel or college or any one place I can say. But in a quantum computer, when I ask what is the value inside a qubit, I will have to give probabilities. I will have to give that the probability of having 0 is 0.5 and probability of having 1 is 0.5. Or I can give a probability of having 0 is 0.2 and probability of having 1 is 0.8. So I can speak only in terms of probability in quantum computer. So now probability of having 0 is 1, which means I have a 0 stored in it. When the probability is 1 means it is sure that I have that number inside it. We are going to get introduced to a gate called the NOT gate. We are going to apply a NOT gate now to this quantum circuit. Let me show you how to apply a NOT gate. So our quantum circuit's name is QC1. Okay, we have only one quantum bit, that is bit 0. The position of the quantum bit is 0. The value inside is also 0. So I'm going to apply a NOT gate. Applying as a NOT gate is nothing but simply adding a dot x of 0. When I apply a NOT gate on the 0th qubit, this value 0 will become 1. We will see how it becomes 1. So the next code is QC1.x of 0. After applying the NOT gate, we have to measure it. So this QC1.measure will help me to know what is the value there stored in it. Then we will see the circuit also. So can you see the X here? This is the NOT gate. So earlier our quantum circuit looked like this, a quantum bit and a classical bit. Now I have added a NOT gate in front of it, and the output I have to measure. This black box is called the measure gate. I am measuring this quantum value and I am storing it in a classical gate, because you can never read a quantum bit. Reading a quantum bit will lead to different unpredictable results. If you have problem in executing this MPL, you can remove this and you can simply type QC1.draw. You will see the same circuit like this. Wait, I'll execute it again. Can you see this? A NOT gate and a measure gate. You might go wrong while executing this. See, when I execute again, I'll be adding another NOT gate and a measure gate. When I execute this again, I'll be adding another NOT gate and measure gate. So you should not execute this again and again. You will add multiple gates and the results will go somewhere wrong. So if you have to run it again, you have to start from the beginning. Build the new circuit. See what is the value inside it. Then apply the NOT gate. Shall we go to see the value inside it? Please respond. Shall we go and see what is stored inside it? We expect this 0 to become 1. We expect this 0 to become 1. Shall we see that? Please respond. Shruti, can I have the response?
Yes, Arish.
Are you
It's a
getting
yes
yes?
from it's a yes from the participants. You can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, participants. Now we are going to read the output, and after the NOT gate, I have seen a 1 here. Successfully, we have implemented a NOT gate on a quantum bit. Earlier, we had a 0, and executing this is very simple. You simply copy and paste this same code. This code is going to read your quantum circuit. So wherever you want to know what is happening inside it, simply copy that code and paste it here. Make sure to change the quantum circuit. If your quantum circuit name is QC2, use QC2. Now you will get a 1.